Samantha Mitchell was a 26-year-old woman with long, cascading brown hair that had been her signature look for as long as she could remember. She worked at Pritchard & Company, a mid-sized marketing firm in the heart of the city. For 5 years, Samantha had poured her energy into the company, gradually earning respect and trust. She loved her job and found satisfaction in the creative challenges it offered, but her ambition went beyond her current position. She had her eyes on it. Before we continue with the video, I want to ask for your help. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subs, so I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and help me out. Okay, let's continue. A managerial role, one that would allow her to lead projects and guide her team. Her boss, Mr. Leonard Pritchard, was a sharp businessman in his mid-40s. Though he was kind and approachable, his primary focus was always on the company's bottom line. He valued efficiency, results, and above all, the financial health of the firm. Samantha had tried several times to hint at her aspirations during their one-on-one meetings, but Leonard's responses had always been polite yet non-committal. "Keep up the good work," he'd say, or "we'll see what the future holds." Outside of work, Samantha led a life that balanced professional success with a passion for giving back. She volunteered twice a week at a community center, cooking meals for people in need and organizing charity events. Her friends at the center often joked that she was too good for the corporate world, but Samantha believed she could make a difference both at work and in her community. One Tuesday afternoon, Samantha overheard a peculiar conversation between two colleagues in the break room. "Did you know Mr. Pritchard has a thing for bald women?" One of them whispered. "Really?" The other replied, incredulous. "Yeah, I heard it from someone in HR. Apparently his ex-wife and a couple of his ex-girlfriends were all bald." Samantha couldn't help but eavesdrop. The idea seemed so bizarre and out of character for the buttoned-up Leonard Pritchard she knew. She laughed it off initially, but the thought lingered in her mind throughout the day. That evening, as she ladled soup into bowls at the community center, she casually brought it up to her fellow volunteers. "So, I heard this weird thing at work today," she began, recounting the break room gossip. Her friend Mia, a spirited woman in her 40s, chuckled. "Well, if that's true, maybe you should shave your head. Who knows? It might get you that promotion you've been wanting." The group laughed, but the comment struck a chord with Samantha. Could something as drastic as shaving her head really make a difference? Was it worth considering? That night, Samantha lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. The idea felt absurd, yet it gnawed at her. She'd worked so hard and felt so close to earning a promotion. But what if this unconventional move was the push she needed? She turned the thought over in her mind until the early hours of the morning. Finally, she made a decision. She'd go to the hairdresser the next day. The following afternoon, Samantha walked into a trendy salon a few blocks from her office. The stylist, a young woman with tattoos and a confident demeanor, greeted her warmly. "What are we doing today?" she asked, draping a green cape around Samantha's shoulders. Samantha took a deep breath. "I want to shave it all off." The stylist raised an eyebrow but didn't question her decision. "All right. Are you sure?" Samantha nodded, though her hands were trembling under the cape. As the clippers buzzed to life, she felt a lump rise in her throat. With each pass, her long brown locks fell to the floor, leaving her scalp exposed. By the time the stylist finished, Samantha couldn't hold back her tears. She stared at her reflection, feeling vulnerable and regretful. "It's a big change," the stylist said gently. "But you look amazing." Samantha forced a smile, thanked her, and left the salon. On the walk home, she felt the cool breeze on her scalp for the first time, a strange and uncomfortable sensation. She couldn't shake the feeling that she'd made a terrible mistake. The next morning, Samantha walked into the office with her head held high, despite the stares and murmurs from her colleagues. When she finally saw Leonard, his reaction was one of pure surprise. "Samantha, you shaved your head," he said, his eyes wide. She nodded, trying to sound casual. "I felt like a change." Leonard smiled faintly. "Well, it's bold. I respect that." For the rest of the day, Samantha tried to focus on her work, but she couldn't help feeling self-conscious. When she caught Leonard glancing at her during a team meeting, she decided to seize the moment. After the meeting, she approached him in his office. "Mr. Pritchard, do you have a moment?" "Of course. Come in," he said, gesturing to a chair. Samantha took a deep breath. "I wanted to talk about my future here. I've been with the company for 5 years, and I've consistently delivered strong results. I believe I'm ready to take on more responsibility." Leonard leaned back in his chair, studying her. "Samantha, your work has always been excellent, but promotions aren't just about performance. They're about timing and opportunities." "I understand that," she replied, "but I've proven my commitment to this company, and I'm eager to contribute at a higher level." Leonard nodded slowly. "You make a compelling case. Let me think it over." The next week was nerve-wracking. Samantha threw herself into her work, determined to prove her worth. Finally, on Friday afternoon, Leonard called her into his office. "Samantha," he began, "I've been considering what you said. Your dedication and hard work haven't gone unnoticed. I'm pleased to offer you the position of team manager." Samantha's heart soared. "Thank you, Mr. Pritchard. I won't let you down." As she left his office, she felt a surge of pride. The path to her promotion had been unconventional, but she'd achieved it through determination and courage. Her bald head, once a source of regret, now felt like a symbol of her resilience and willingness to take risks. It was a bold move for a bold future.